Is Superman about to lose his depth perception? What do you get for the Wolverine who has everything? Snape may be getting too much sun. Was your life missing Leonard Nimoy's singing voice? All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, the host for this and every show. Well, not every show ever, but every episode of Cutting Edge Hero for sure. Joined, as always, by the eloquent, the sexy, and dare I say, devilishly handsome Landon Felter. Landon, how you doing?
I am doing just fine. Super glad it's finally sweater weather again.
Yeah, I see you're rocking a skeleton sweater. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, my skull sweater.
Oh, well, skull. Yeah, it doesn't have the rest. Well, I guess you're the rest of the body, but yeah, it does have. It's black and white. It's very nice. I may have to kill him and steal it because make my little goth heart happy. We have Billy Rhodes in the chat. Billy, glad you are here, and Marbles is in the chat as well. Welcome to the show. Glad you guys have joined us. Our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, Ben Stewart, may also be in the chat tonight, and he may be working overtime. I'm not sure what he's doing this week. But Ben, when you get here, say hi to the nice people. Jennifer Johnson in the chat. What is up, Jen? Glad you're here as well. The queen of nerddom herself. If you get a chance, check out her show, Queens of Nerddom, over on the That Feeling Podcast Network. Landon, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Honestly, the nerdiest thing I've done this week is try to cram half a semester's worth of work over Thanksgiving break, because I am good at planning. Just so good at it.
Well, there's no time like the last minute.
Truly, diamonds are made under pressure, and boy howdy.
Yeah.
Am I no diamond?
Yeah. Well, I'd say you're a bit of a diamond. Eric Johnson in the chat as well from the Dat Feeling Podcast Network. Eric, also, we are in a deep bromance. Don't tell Jennifer. The nerdiest thing I've done this week, I took my Katrina and I took my youngest to go see Wicked. I try not to get into things that are too trendy, but I do have a soft spot for musicals, and especially the final scene of it when they sang Defying Gravity. That was cinematically incredible. I really thought it was cool, and now I'm deep diving everything about Wicked. So
what? You're telling me you, a born theater major, has a soft spot for musicals? No way.
It's true. I have been a darling of the stage and screen for most of my life. But yes, C's get degrees, Marble says.
Yes. Thank you all for your support. Don't worry. I am slowly gluing myself back together.
And Billy said he just got back from his meeting with the United Healthcare CEO. Says it went well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Do you get that reference?
Yes, I do.
Okay, never mind then. I won't explain. He also says he doesn't own a gun. Anyway, fantastic. But anyway, I'm deep diving Wicked. I'm curious about what the second half's going to be about. So I looked it up and I've read about it. And, obviously I'm listening to the musical and so anyway, I've had Defying Gravity stuck in my head for almost a week now. And it's fine. It's a good song. I enjoy it. Yeah. So today we will be talking about all of the news we missed over the last couple of weeks. And we'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Then we'll be discussing Arcane Season 2, which dropped on Netflix, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I might be a little behind on that one. And then we are also talking our 5 favorite hero or character tropes in the hit list. But before we get into any of that, Landon, you want to do some news?
Oh, always.
How about you fire some bullet points at me? That introduction always makes me want to windmill. Anyway, in anime news, kicking us off, Dragon Ball Daima, which is the new Dragon Ball series that has dropped on Crunchyroll in the last couple of months. It is a series that takes place between the end of Dragon Ball Z and the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, where Goku and Vegeta and the rest of the crew all get turned into kid versions of themselves, not unlike Dragon Ball GT, but this one's canon. And I've been waiting because I have a really hard time watching subbed anime because I have to always be doing something while watching whatever I'm watching. I live a pretty busy life. So I've been waiting for them to drop the English dubs of Dragon Ball Daima, and we've gotten some good news this week. The dubs will be dropping on Crunchyroll on January 10th of 2025. So we only have a little over a month to wait, so I can binge all of the episodes that are currently out.
Dang.
Yeah.
So I imagine I think like a quarter of all anime fans are like you, where they cannot handle the subbed versions of things, or at least would prefer not to watch subbed over dubbed.
Well, my preference is sub. I would prefer sub over dub. I just can't watch a sub while doing other things, and I'm always doing something.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's the reason why I couldn't do the subbed version of One Piece anymore.
Yeah, that's your only option for staying current on One Piece too, because they're so far behind on dubbing One Piece episodes that they're still doing like they're still like 15 or 16 seasons behind on the dubs before they'll be caught up.
Well, I still have hundreds of episodes before I reach that point, so I'm not too worried about that yet.
Yeah, that's valid. Rebecca is in the chat. Glad you are here as well, Becca. She said relatable. I want to watch subbed anime, but the ADHD says no. Billy Rhodes says can't handle sub. It isn't that I can't handle it. I don't fucking know Japanese. That's valid. If I could, what I need is the translating headphones, and then I could just watch them on sub and not have to look at the screen. But yeah, so that's my one big hurdle. But I'm excited for Dragon Ball Daima. It's a new story. It takes place in the Demon Realm, and a lot of not a lot of, but the voice actor for young Goku from Dragon Ball, some of Goten and Gohan in Dragon Ball Z has come back to voice Goku for this series as well. So they're giving the main DBZ cast a break for this series. Over in comics, Superman number 20 has dropped a preview this week. Superman is dealing with the Time Trapper, who is a future version of Doomsday, who has become way less violent and way more intelligent. And he has traveled back in time to his next appearance in Superman's world to warn Superman. And he dropped a little early, indicated by, and if you can go ahead and put that panel up, indicated by the fact that Superman still has his right eye. So apparently in the current run of Superman comics, Superman is going to be losing his right eye. We'll see how that works out moving forward, if he's going to have an S-Shield eye patch, or if his eye is just going to regrow because Superman does have a healing factor, or how that's going to go down. Billy said translating headphones seems like a long workaround when you can just watch the dub. That's valid. But also cool technology. I would probably do it just to say I did it. Ben Stewart in the chat, our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, here to make sure that I don't say anything super inappropriate to Landon, like, hey, your balls are hanging out or anything like that. And also fact check me.
I feel
Ben,
so
I'm glad
if my
you're here.
balls are hanging out, that's more on me than on you.
But yes, you're right. If I said nice balls, that's on me.
Okay, Ben, get him.
Justin Quick in the chat. Justin, glad you're here. Thank you for joining us as well. Everybody in the chat, get your 5 favorite character trope list together so that we can work our way through that when we get there. And if you just decide to wait to the last minute, that's okay too. No judgment. It's when I would do it. I certainly wrote it right before we went live. Landon and I both did. That's where we're at on this. In the current Wolverine run, Logan may be subbing out his adamantium claws for gold adamantine ones. Now we've previously seen this in an Elseworlds not Elseworlds, in an alternate reality version of Wolverine, who instead of sideburns had a big ass mustache and the adamantine claws. But in the current run of Wolverine comics, there is a version of adamantine, the same gold metal that Hercules' mace is made out of, that adamantium is actually named after in the canon Marvel comics. That is the metal itself is offended by the existence of adamantium, and it is possessing characters with adamantium laced bones and claws and replacing them with itself. So it is on a mission to destroy all the adamantium in the main 616 Marvel universe. That being said, when the metal does take over people, it started with Cyber, who Wolverine stabbed his other eyeball out and then cut one of his arms off. And so Cyber disappeared into a cave and popped back out with gold arms and eyes and this adamantine metal that he then infected Lady Deathstrike with, and now he's working his way towards Wolverine. So we may see gold claws on Wolverine in the future, and we may not. But that is what they're hinting at in Marvel Comics.
So it's possessing characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the metal's sentient, which has not been the case in previous iterations of the gold claws. But in this instance, it is. And the metal is pissed because adamantium shares its name, and it wants adamantium destroyed because it's an inferior metal.
Wow, so even the metals of gods are narcissistic and full of themselves.
Hopefully it doesn't fuck a cow or anything like Zeus.
Yeah.
Or does. Whatever.
Anything could happen in comics. We've established this.
Comics are crazy. Billy Rhodes said, how does the metal actually destroy adamantium? It takes over the molecular structure of the adamantium and changes it into adamantine, but then also possesses the person wielding the adamantium. It's comics, man. It's weird. But yeah, that's how that's going down. So this one's kind of, I can't see how this is going to upset anybody, especially based on the environment that the world is currently in. But did I not send you a picture of this?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I feel bad. Let me send you this. The picture needs to go along with this. Give me just a second.
It's that important. You need visual cues.
It's super important that you need a visual on this. Give me 2 seconds. Everybody riff. We're going to be great.
Okay, so again, thank you all for your support. Billy, going back to you saying it's not that you can't handle it, you don't fucking know Japanese. Like Danny said earlier, the dubs take a while to come out, if they come out at all. Like, One Piece is how many seasons behind? Like 50? What'd you say? Like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot of seasons behind. And if you don't want to be years behind on a series, you're going to have to get used to the subs sometimes.
You still have the Wi-Fi on?
No.
Can you turn it on? So I can send this to you?
Yeah, I'll turn it on right quick. If you see a hiccup in anything, don't worry. We're in control of everything. But with the naming scheme, it implies that adamantium is the base element and adamantine is the derivative metal. I don't think comic writers were paying too much attention to the naming scheme of metals when they came up with these names, Billy.
That's true. Yeah. What did he say? With the...
Oh, he said,
Go ahead.
but with the naming scheme, it implies that adamantium is the base metal and adamantine is the derivative.
So actually, adamantium is named. They're not derivative of each other. Adamantium is a metal unto itself. It is a metal created in a lab in Canada, and then they named it after the mythological metal that Hercules' mace is made out of, and they actually have no common. They have no common characteristics or creation. It's just a name it was given to make it sound cooler. They called it adamantium, naming it after adamantine. Jessica Christian in the chat. Jess, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, so they're not made or derivative of each other in any way, shape, or form. It's just named after it. And the adamantine is just pissed that it's stolen its name, which comics. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, you got the picture ready?
Yep.
So according to Deadline, HBO's Harry Potter series may have found their Snape. Go ahead and throw the picture up there. They have reportedly offered the role to Emmy nominee Papa Isidu. He was previously in Gangs of London, The Lazarus Project, and Black Mirror, but he has been offered the role of Snape in the Harry Potter television series. And you're not going to see any anger from me for it, but I know that whenever they cast against racially against what was previously done in movies and television, there seems to be a pretty big outcry from the internet. So we'll see how that goes down.
And as we all know, Harry Potter fans are very known for being chill and relaxed when it comes to their
absolutely
their franchise.
Yes. Along with this, there is a strong rumor that it is a possibility that Peaky Blinders Cillian Murphy, Jennifer Johnson said people getting their feelings. You are absolutely correct. That Peaky Blinders Cillian Murphy may be taking over the role of Voldemort, previously played by Ralph Fiennes. That one I think is really cool too. I love that idea. It was also intimated that Ralph Fiennes may be reprising the role of Voldemort for the series as well. Ralph Fiennes says he doesn't care either way. He thinks Cillian is a great choice. And on the off chance that Cillian doesn't take it, he's still ready to strap on the nose pasty. Billy Rhodes said, I'm willing to accept that the internet will totally accept the black actor taking the role. Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. Jennifer Johnson said, Cillian, I'm not mad. Me neither. I think he would do a great job as a villain for the Harry Potter series. I do believe he would possibly give us a better portrayal than Ralph Fiennes did.
I don't know about better portrayal, but I think it will be an excellent cast. It is an excellent casting choice.
I just think he's a better actor overall than Ralph Fiennes. Me personally.
I'm not familiar with either enough. I'm not familiar enough with either of their works to say for certain, but
yep. I've never seen Cillian Murphy in anything I didn't like, and I always think he knocks it out of the park no matter what they put him in.
Oh, yeah.
Be that his bit parts as the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy, Peaky Blinders, 28 Days Later, just everything he does, he just knocks it out of the park. So I'm excited. I think it'll be cool. Yeah. Moving along in other TV news, the Bullseye actor for Daredevil Born Again, Wilson Bethel, says that there will be a 5-year time jump from the end of the Marvel Netflix series to the beginning of Daredevil Born Again. So we will be seeing all of these characters 5 years later.
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. It keeps up with real life time fairly close.
I think it's been a little longer than 5 years actually currently, but I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
I think that was based on the fact that all of the characters have aged many years since the end of the Netflix series. I think that's totally fits with the story for sure. And one thing he said was that what's really cool about playing these characters in live action is that they're aging in real time on the show. So I don't know. Bullseye ended the series on Netflix with him getting his adamantium spine or steel spine, I think, in the Netflix series. In the comics, it was adamantium, which that doesn't bode well for him. But anyway, so he will be returning in the role of Bullseye for the or for the Disney Plus series. We've also know that Karen Page, Foggy Nelson, the Punisher, Wilson Fisk, all of those actors are coming back as well. There has been no word as to whether we're going to see Elektra again or not. And I hope she at least makes an appearance.
I feel as though they have to, if not have her right away, at least allude to her for the very least, because she showed up in Deadpool. I mean,
yeah, and the Defenders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she was in both of them. Although the Defenders really suck, so if they don't reference that, I guess it's okay. And then moving along to movie news, due to the delays with starting the Batman 2 and how they have not begun filming on it yet for the Matt Reeves sequel, helmed by Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson said recently that he may be going into retirement shortly after the movie comes out because of how long it's taking to make it. So he's apparently not happy with the delays for his Batman franchise.
Yeah, I mean, if you were told you're going to be Batman, you'd want to do it as soon as possible. I mean, he's already been Batman once, but
yes,
he wants to be it again.
And off of the hype for Penguin, I can't imagine they don't have the sucker rolling yet. Like, it's just crazy that they're not already working on the series.
Well, there could be new pressures on since Penguin was so good. They're like, oh God, we're suddenly like got more eyes on from producers in the studio and everything to knock this out of the park. We have more pressure on. Oh God, rewrites.
They've had to turn the dial from shameless cash grab to decent movie.
we don't have to phone in the sequel. Oh no.
Yeah. They were like the writers for Red 1 were busy writing the script for Batman 2, and they've now been canned, and they're moving along to better writers.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. They're no longer going to cast The Rock as Robin in Batman 2. Anyway. But anyway, the cheeky Brit, Robert Pattinson, gave them a pretty curt response about that. And last but certainly not least, HBO Max has recently gained the rights for and will be adding to their streaming profile 2 previously unstreamable Lord of the Rings movies. Both of them are the animated versions from the 70s. So the 1978 Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings movie that combines Fellowship and Two Towers is going to be coming to Max for streaming. And then also the Rankin Bass Hobbit film from 1977 is going to be joining the streaming service as well.
Hell yeah.
So I believe the Ralph Bakshi version is the one where Leonard Nimoy was the voice of Gandalf, or is that the Hobbit? I don't remember. I know he sings. I know he sings a Lord of the Rings song in it.
That wasn't the Ralph Bakshi one, if I remember right.
Okay, so I think it's the Hobbit then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But he does Leonard Nimoy voices Gandalf, and he sings a couple of songs in the film. So if you were thinking, I need to hear Leonard Nimoy's singing voice, you will now be able to stream it on Max. Which I'm sure if no one else in the chat is excited about, Billy will be. He says, Pattinson is threatening to retire because he isn't able to play Batman more. I've never been allowed to play Batman, and I don't get to retire. Yeah, I guess. That's a weird parallel to draw, though. Nobody's invited me to play Batman in a live-action film yet either. And I'm literally Batman, so that's crazy.
Nobody's invited me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not Batman, though.
Yeah. You'd make a great Robin, though. Tim Drake. You'd be the Tim Drake Robin.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
It's nice to know I don't have to have any of my parents die.
Yeah, that's valid. Or be beaten to death by the Joker.
Or be beaten to death by the Joker. Or be in the... Anyway.
Yeah, so what did you have for video game news, Landon?
All right. Do you want the good news or the ridiculously laughable news?
Let's start with the ridiculously laughable. I want to share that with the folks.
Fantastic. Elon Musk says that because so many game studios are owned by giant corporations, it's driving down the quality of video games, mainstream games. And because of that, he wants to use his giant corporation to make his own game studio, an AI games studio.
Oh, God. Well, as much as Mr. Musk is known for his brilliant ideas, marketing, and leadership whenever it comes to companies, I don't know that he necessarily has the capability to put together a good game studio and make it profitable in a way that makes sense.
Here's the thing. I know this is going to be a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know this is going to be a dumpster fire.
Absolutely.
All his fanboys that are going to flock to him and probably be the only ones that buy his games, they may buy enough to just keep it barely afloat. And that's what I'm worried for. That this isn't going to be something that's a quick flash in the pan. This is something that's going to limp along, begging for death the entire time, and be a thorn in everybody who plays games, be a thorn in their side for a few years at least.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried for.
Yeah. Would it be like Dodge Dually Driver, the game? or like uh, don't drop the roofalin. could be one of them. Cybertruck mechanic.
Cybertruck mechanic, yeah.
Cybertruck mechanic simulator.
Yeah. And Billy, for what the fuck does an AI game studio means? I don't know. I think it means that he's going to try to use AI to do everything from the art to the coding to everything in between and pay a few poor schmucks as little as possible to clean up the mess that they make.
Probably he'll be hiring all of those Tesla cyborg or androids that they're going to be building to then run the game studio and make the games. Right? Become estranged from all your children, the video game. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Elon is just, he's probably not even going to go through with it. He's probably just saying something and then, I don't know, give a half-hearted attempt and then forget about it and pretend it never happened.
Identifying both genders, the game. I don't know. I'm just picturing how stupid this is going to be. It's like the Daily Wire version of Bluey.
One of them is going to be a Doge game. There's going to be a fucking Doge game.
Cryptocurrency, the game.
Cryptocurrency. Oh. Now imagine him trying to also make educational games.
Oh, God.
But it's his twisted ideas of reality. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. So what's the good news?
Good news. So Blizzard tried to delist Warcraft 1 and 2 from GOG games. Are you aware of GOG?
Nope.
They are CD Projekt Red's games platform.
Okay, like a streaming platform.
Yeah, they're big on selling games that don't have DRM because back when they made it, DRM was basically very difficult and made playing games very difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So GOG fought back. Illegally give millions of dollars to a presidential candidate as a private citizen. Modern warfare. But GOG fought back. The games are still on their platform. Not only that, but they have given them a discount and have announced an initiative to improve its game preservations program. Basically, it's a way of ensuring that if you own the rights to a game, you will always have access to it on their platform.
It's crazy that this is still like, I realize it's been this last year that we've been talking about this, but it's crazy that we're having this problem where you literally buy a thing and don't own it. Like that is nuts to me.
Yeah, it feels like it's been said a million times by us alone at this point, but if you do not physically have it in your hand, you do not own the game. You own a license to it. If you get it through Steam or GOG or Epic Games or wherever you get them from.
Which is really problematic because, when you pay your hard-earned money for something as an option, that option should remain an option. And I would say that if they're going to pull it down or not support it anymore as an online option, they should give everybody like a download code. And just like house the files and save that money, but always make it available to people,
Yeah, at the very least, once something becomes abandonware, like it will be proliferated throughout the internet. I mean, you can find so many abandonware games on like Internet Archive if that's still not being killed by or corporations right now or what have you.
Yeah.
Also, Cold War II, Russia is totally fine this time. Please continue to give Elon Musk game titles in the chat.
Yeah. Next thing you know, he'll be buying Cutting Edge Hero. It won't cost him much. Maybe we should piss Elon off.
It is in my contract that I'm allowed to quit in the case of a acquisition, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God.
What contract? I still don't understand why online is even required. I give you money, give me the game. Yeah, that's valid. But also, I don't know, man. It's convenience. It's nice. It's technology. I mean, I'm always for technology. I'm for options that that make things easier, like streaming games and stuff. Like the PlayStation Plus network allows you to just stream games instead of downloading them now when they're like PS4 or older, because the data speeds are there now where you can just Netflix your game to your PlayStation.
Yeah, like a little while ago, I was messing around on my computer and I had to reinstall Windows. Don't ask. And getting Steam up and running and getting some games reinstalled was incredibly easy because of how the platform works, and it's just simple and quick to do. I don't even have to think about it that much. It's just for ease of access and convenience, really.
Landon, what else you got?
That's actually everything from me.
Okay. Well, that is it for the news. I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points.
Heck.
Welcome back to the show. I'm sorry, Landon. I'll try to give you more of a lead up next time.
I'm sorry. I just really zoned out and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. The segment's done. I completely forgot.
That's okay. I've been working on that transition for a while now, and it was going too well, I think.
Yeah, it flowed so seamlessly. I forgot that I was supposed to do something.
Next Tetris. Why does this body look so blocky when he takes his shirt off? I mean, he's a tech bro not even a tech bro. He's a tech investor who doesn't exercise, and he's in his 50s. I mean, of course he's going to be blocky.
Yeah. As we all get older, our bodies slow down, and we just, that's just sort of what happens to a human being.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the slow, never-ending grind of time and gravity and oxidization inside your blood, which is actually what causes aging. Both the pull of gravity on you and the tiny explosions that happen inside your blood from oxidation, which is why it's important to have your daily amount of antioxidants. Keeps you younger.
See, and here I thought you just had to hold your breath so that you don't get as much oxygen.
Anyway, so we are talking about Arcane Season 2. Those of you who are fans of League of Legends, I don't know anything about League of Legends. Everything I know about League of Legends comes from watching Arcane. I've never played it. I've never seen anyone play it, and I have no interest in doing so. That being said, Season 2 of Arcane is beautiful. It is cinematically beautiful. B, it is sexy, like really sexy. And Billy said The Sims, apartheid. The hits just keep coming. It is really sexy, and the story is satisfying. I would say they did a good job of wrapping up the story from season 1. I thought season 1 took a second to get underway, and was a little boring for several episodes. But I stuck with it and got through the end of the first season. But season 2 really doesn't have any of that lag in the story. It is a mile a minute. There's a lot of things going on. I think the only thing that's really unconvincing about Arcane is the number of times Jinx kills people or hurts people, and everyone is still willing to forgive Jinx and love Jinx and tell Jinx that Jinx can be a better person and that good things will happen for Jinx, when Jinx is like a shitheel, like from the beginning of season 2 to almost the end of season 2. I like the character. She's fun. She's got a very Harley Quinn vibe. But at the same time, like, it's just unrealistic that everybody keeps being like, I understand. She needs love and support, and she needs her sister, and her sister needs to love her. And I understood what you were going to do, Val. And it's like, what? She's killed so many people. Yes, Jennifer is right. Jinx does get shit done. When Jinx sets her sights on something, she does not stop until it is finished. Great character. It's the supporting cast being so like willing to forgive and forget everything Jinx did was kind of unbelievable for me. Might have been one of my only criticisms for the series. It seemed very kid gloves when it came to Jinx, even though it wasn't with literally anyone else in the series. But so I just think that's the most unbelievable part. That was kind of tough to internalize and enjoy in the middle of the rest of this, where people are like straight up just dying or losing eyeballs or getting cut up or whatever was happening. And then Jinx just gets like 1,000 redos, which I just thought was so weird for, compared to the way the rest of the story told. But maybe that's just me on a rewatch. It might seem different, but to me, that seemed really weird.
It's what happens whenever when the supporting cast love a character the same way stands in the fandom love a character.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know that we're ever going to get a season 3. I think they wrapped the story up for that. So I don't know if we'll just get a new story with Arcane. I don't know if the characters in Arcane are characters from League of Legends, or if they're all just original characters for the property. Are you familiar with League of Legends at all?
I know that like Jinx and Vi are from League of Legends. I know they are from the games itself.
Are they NPCs? Or are they characters you play as?
They're characters you play as, if I remember right. I'm not too familiar with League of Legends. I just know a little bit from here and there. I don't know anything about the rest of the sporting cast.
Yeah. Jennifer Johnson says they're doing a new series, apparently. I read they're 1 year into the development. I didn't bother to look into that. I apologize. Marble said I was thinking about the Mary Sue trope. LOL, maybe they are Mary Suing her. It just seemed very CW. With Jinx, it seemed very like there were no what's the word I'm looking for? Stakes. There were no stakes for Jinx. She got off scot-free for every situation she found herself in, and in the end, she faced no consequences. And then I won't spoil the end of the series. Jennifer Johnson says I went down a rabbit hole. We appreciate that, Jen. I appreciate a good deep dive anytime it happens. I certainly do them enough myself. But yeah,
same here.
Have you watched any of Arcane?
No, Joey keeps trying to get me, or Joey wants to get me, but then we both get distracted, or I'm just like, hey, I'm really tired. I don't think I have time for a series right now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, really enjoyed it. I think season 2 was fun. Rebecca said most of them are characters from the game and a lot are playable. Good to know. Good to know. Again, probably never going to get into League of Legends. I don't like online MMORPGs.
I don't play a lot of competitive games. I don't really play that many MOBAs anymore. So I probably won't catch me on that either.
Okay. So that's I guess check it out for yourself. See what you think of Arcane season 2, but that was just my feelings on it.
I actually do know a little bit more about Arcane. It is currently the most expensive animated series of all time, if I remember right.
It makes sense. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and the director recently said that a lot of people in Hollywood are still shocked by the amount they've paid for Arcane, that they are absolutely flabbergasted about $250 million budget for this series. And it's one of those things that really shows how Hollywood feels about animation, because that's the same budget as Red One.
Yeah.
And Red One was a huge flop.
That's true.
But like for this series that has grossed a lot more than Red One and has so much critical acclaim, being the same price as one rock movie, is just still shocks a lot of producers and everyone in Hollywood. It's just kind of shows where their heads still are.
It is crazy to me that there are so many Billy Rhodes said more expensive than Space Ghost Coast to Coast, guaranteed. It is crazy to me. Yeah, Jennifer said the art is like a painting, so beautiful, absolutely. And then they did mixed medium. It's hand drawn, it's CGI, it's incredible art, like painted and all sorts of stuff. There was like apparently like one scene where it was just charcoal drawings that they used for the series, which was nuts. But it is crazy that Hollywood refuses to learn lessons like the fact that Terrifier 3, which was made on like a $30,000 budget, beat the pants off of Joker 2, which was made on a $250 million budget. And then you're looking at a series like Arcane, again made on a $250 million budget, and I guarantee you it's going to permeate and stay in the zeitgeist much longer than Red One will, and continue to churn out merch and costumes and cosplays and fan art and people interested in it, and revitalize League of Legends for a few months before people get tired on it. And something like Red One, which is at best possibly a cult classic, similar to Jingle All the Way, but most likely is going to be something played on syndicated television for the remainder of time when they literally can't afford any other movie. And they continue to think like a Christmas movie starring The Rock and Chris Evans with a terrible script and no effort into making it, thrown at a screen is worth $250 million investment, and something as beautiful and artistic and enjoyable as Arcane season 2 isn't, which it feels like there's going to have to be a lot more of this before they actually learn their lesson, that we are getting really tired of just regurgitated sequels to properties we once loved, and then safe movies that they think will do well riding on just star power.
Well, one of the issues I think right now in Hollywood is that a lot of people who are in charge, Zaslav is possibly one of the biggest offenders of this, are not people who have worked in film or in any sort of art medium production before.
Yeah.
These are industry people. These are people who have worked on like the business side of companies and everything, and they don't understand how art is made and see these purely as products. Now, I'm not saying movie studios didn't try making a profit off of these things before. I mean, that's the whole purpose of them since they've been created. But at least there was a time when they understood a bit more about how you can't just formulate how something is going to be a hit, and you can't just minimize costs and maximize what you need to get done. It's not some sort of algorithm you can plug all this into, which is what they're trying to do.
They firmly believe that that's the case.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are also not willing to accept when they're wrong and accept their mistakes. I don't think we're going to see a change anytime soon. At least not with the current batch of people that are heads of these studios now.
This problem has been decades long, if not longer. Cabin in the Woods was a commentary on this very thing in the horror genre. The movie Cabin in the Woods is a joke about the fact that if they broke from any of the common horror tropes, the fans would get so angry that they would destroy the films. And that's what the whole plot of that movie is. The thing with the like government group that's like, the different horror tropes all take place at different points, and they have to hit the exact right things. There has to be exactly the right characters doing exactly right things in every situation, or it doesn't work, and it doesn't appease the gods. And the gods in this situation were fans of horror movies, and they will destroy them. And it was just one Hollywood property that was making a commentary on this, but it has just been an ongoing problem for so long, and they refuse to learn their lesson.
It's just, you cannot just slap a famous celebrity on anything and it will be successful. You cannot just throw tons of money at an issue and it will be solved. Like, you got to work on this. It's something you gotta like get creative about, and that's the one thing like industries try to limit, is your ability to think creatively and do things differently than how they've been done a million different times. And the Zaslavs and all these other people who got started out in the corporate world who are now in charge they don't know how to run this type of stuff. They think because they were successful in the corporate world, they could be successful in this, and it's not the same type of business.
And we say all of this, and then from what I understand, Moana 2 isn't very good. It's very derivative of the first one, doesn't progress the story very much. I haven't seen it, but it's very much like obviously a cash grab, and it has broken the weekend box office records, and it's killing it, and it's making all the money that it needs to make. And that's literally just a Disney movie featuring The Rock that people are going out in droves to watch. So as long as one of these movies a year gets the kind of support they're looking for, these studios are making their money back on the investment that they're putting into making these other films.
Then let other people do different creative things and don't try to put out the same cookie cutter production line stuff, and let that one big film do the heavy lifting and let all the creatives do what they want.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, we're not going to fix Hollywood here tonight, but we sure can.
Sorry,
try.
Hold on. That's me getting off my soapbox, everybody. Sorry about that.
Jennifer said, sad thing is they have so many different sources they could use to have a successful movie, TV show, comic book, etc. And stop changing the motherfucking stories. Yes, respecting source material seems to be the thing that drives us out and gets us to love a property whenever it's brought to us as well. And I think the most recent example of that might be the How to Train Your Dragon trailer, because I want to see that in live action. And all they're going to do, it looks like they're just going to do a shot-by-shot remake of the original How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm excited about it. But I will say that, like, I don't think that's a sign that they should make live action of every animated thing ever. There's just some things that just aren't going to work.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is our feelings on Arcane Season 2. And speaking of action heroes, for our hit list this week, we're talking about our 5 favorite character tropes. I can pull a segue out of anything.
You truly
anything.
Can. A master of the art form.
Challenge me. I got it. I'm a Segway king too. I'm not just the nerd king. I'm the Segway king. But anyway, so welcome to the hit list. This week we are talking about our 5 favorite character tropes. This can be from any medium that you enjoy or don't enjoy, I guess, but I doubt it would be in your 5 favorites if it's from a medium you don't enjoy. That being said, if it is, that's okay. Make your list. It's fine. No judgment here. If you need an explanation as to what a character trope is, feel free to ask in the chat. Be more than happy to explain it to you. But otherwise, we will move along. Mr. Felter, what do you have as your number 5?
My number 5 favorite character trope: characters who are just down to fight gods. This is something that I see happen more in like JRPGs and everything. This here is Lucas from Fire Emblem Gaiden, where it's just like a battle between God and mortal. Sounds exhilarating to me. But it's not something I see pop up too often outside of JRPGs. But it is just fun when you see a guy who is just like a regular human being, maybe a super soldier of some kind, or maybe just a skilled fighter being like, yeah, I could take on a god.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Let's go.
That's valid. That's every D&D player once they break level 12.
Break level 12?
Yeah.
Kidding me? I think it's more like level 5.
It's like level 1 sometimes, but I'm saying like actually have the ability to do so is usually once you're past like level 12 or 13. That's when you have the ability to start hurting gods.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I love a character like that. Dante from Devil May Cry is a great example. The son of a demon knight, and he sees like a giant evil god, and he's just like, groovy, let's go. Totally agree with that. Maybe Link from Legend of Zelda. He doesn't ever faint shy from attacking something 10 times his size.
Yeah, I mean, it normally is because a tree told him, or his sister got kidnapped, or the princess got turned to stone, or he has a lot of reasons to be unwavering and going out and doing what he needs to do.
I'll tell you the great thing about Link, you never hear him complain. Never once. Unless you're watching the animated series, but we don't count that.
I don't know. I see him chatter sometimes. I see him like look annoyed other times. He may not complain, but you could tell when he's not enjoying his time.
Maybe. What do we have in chat?
Jennifer J's number 5. Lazy, unproductive character that's the best at what they do.
I am immediately thinking of Saitama from One Punch Man.
He wasn't lazy and unproductive on the way up.
That's true. But now he is. Now he's
he is.
bored.
Yeah.
He became the world's strongest hero, and now he's bored. And so he just wants to go grocery shopping and hang out in his house and play video games. And people keep messing that up for him.
When you get to the top, what can you really do?
I don't know. I guess join a hero society and be a mid-level superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Simon Pegg in Shaun of the Dead. Shaun.
Yeah.
Lazy, unproductive, the best at zombie fighting.
Shikamaru.
Yeah. Ooh, Shikamaru. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example.
Got as low scores as Naruto, but actually has an IQ of insanity.
Yes. Yeah, he's super genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Trying to think of anyone else. Jack from Big Trouble in Little China.
Actually, I haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, man, gotta check it out.
I've been told it's a fun watch.
Oh, it is. I love that movie. Absolutely. Yeah. What else we got in chat?
Billy Rhodes, number 5. The villain mastermind is bisexual / super horny, as seen on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Jennifer's Body. Mostly happens when the villain is female, but I think Lucifer from the Netflix show totally has a male female threesome.
Yeah, the devil does tend to be horny whenever he's shown depicted in things. But yeah, I totally get that. Let's see, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was Spike, right? Is who he's referring to.
I haven't seen Buffy.
No, okay. I also have not seen Buffy, other than the movie. I didn't watch the television series. My B dog. Eric Johnson said, "Love the Pork Chop Express." I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that means. Eric, please explain. We're both very confused. We might be stupid.
It's possible. This elevator doesn't go all the way to the top floor for sure. Anything else in chat?
That's everything from chat so far.
Okay. My number 5 is the space cowboy trope. One of the more recent examples is certainly Din Djarin from The Mandalorian, but also Spike from Cowboy Bebop, Nathan Fillion's character Mal from Firefly, Han Solo, certainly maybe the origin of the space cowboy character. But I love a good space cowboy for sure. Oh, okay. I apologize, Eric. I didn't remember that. And it's been a minute since I've seen the movie. But yes, the Pork Chop Express.
Yeah. Well, we got another number 5.
Hit me.
Rebecca's number 5. The character who somehow gets themselves out of situations while panicking / doing everything unintentionally the entire time, like Ryan Reynolds' character in Free Guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or Tucker and Dale Destroy Evil. Both they're accidentally the horror villain. Billy said I would say Flash Gordon could be an origin as well, for sure.
Yeah. A character named Jim Raynor in StarCraft is very much the space cowboy archetype. He's even a marshal when you first meet him.
Yeah. That's cool. Landon, what do you have for your number 4?
My number 4 is the villain to friend or ally or what have you. I almost put Vegeta on this list, but I decided to hold off on Dragon Ball because while I was making my list, I noticed Dragon Ball has a lot of these tropes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love it whenever the villain eventually becomes friends with the main cast or just an ally or whatever. Maybe it's because they got beaten down and got humbled and were like, okay, maybe I'm not as great as I was. Maybe I shouldn't be so egotistical. Maybe they had some other business that they needed to get sorted out to become like on the same side as the protagonists, what have you. But I just like seeing a villain get redeemed, or not necessarily redeemed, because let's face it, sometimes they become a good guy and don't get redeemed for the terrible stuff they've done. But you know, I like seeing them become friends.
So some of my best friends in life that I have made from childhood to today, people that are still just like my ride or dies, have been people that at one point I punched in the face or they punched me in the face because we hated each other, and we became really good friends afterwards. And those are the best kind of people, I think. People that you just cannot stand at first, and then you come around on them.
I think I've two of my oldest friends I have gotten in fistfights with. So
Yeah, those are for some reason my like people that like really stay in my life and I get along with very well for long periods of times are usually someone that did not initially like me. It could be that I am an acquired taste. I don't know. I'm a bit oblivious when it comes to things like that. It could also just be that whenever you settle your differences in a physical matter and put them aside, then there's really nothing left to do. You've established the hierarchy in your friendship. You know who can beat whose ass. You know who to be subservient to or look up to in those situations. I think it settles a lot of the stuff that otherwise takes years whenever you've got someone in your life, you know?
yeah, you've made friends the same way an anime protagonist does.
I like that. Yeah, I can get behind that.
You want me to go to?
Yeah, what do we have in chat?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't ask you. I was just reading them.
I didn't know if there was some specific you wanted me to pop on screen or not.
I think that I want to go back to Rebecca's a little bit. I don't think we talked about it much, but the character who gets himself out of things on accident, Austin Powers was really good about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Scooby Doo is good about
oh
that.
yeah, Scooby and Shaggy for sure. Get
Oh
out of
yeah,
all.
please, Daddy, tell me about your favorite
I do
time.
not like Scooby Doo that much. I'm really not a fan, but that's okay. No judgment. No judgment at all. If you enjoy that, Darkwing Duck. There's a good one. I love Darkwing Duck. He's a good like. He's a clumsy hero who accidentally solves everything, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Get smart.
Get smart.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny English as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of spy movies where that's the case.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a lovable character trope. But anyway, for number 4s, what do we have in chat?
All right. Billy Rhodes, number 4. The guy who got bit by a zombie and hides it from the rest of the party. Examples include nearly every survival horror story has this guy.
Dude.
Also, in real life, given the chance, I'm going to be that guy. Then, after I turn, I'll infect 80% of the rest of the party.
So yeah, I've already just know that in catastrophic situations, I think 100% logically. Emotion does not enter into it. I solve the problem first, and then I come back and analyze feelings later. So if you're the guy in a zombie apocalypse who's acting kind of shady and won't show us, or possibly got bit by a zombie, I'm probably going to put you down and then think about it, to like search your body for the bite after the fact.
Have you ever heard of a game called Project Zomboid?
I have not.
Think The Sims 1, but multiplayer and with and in a zombie apocalypse. Every time somebody refuses a medical check from one of the other people in the party, you know you got to put them down.
Yeah. That's how I'm going to handle that for sure. Like, I might just put you out into the street and lock the door behind you. I don't know that I'll necessarily put you down, but if there's a chance you got bit and you're not showing anybody, you're going out the door. Like, you're not staying with us.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And if you're insistent, I may kill you.
Yeah. I mean, again, it depends. It depends. Let me try to phrase this properly. Depending on what type of zombies we're dealing with, I'll handle you a bit differently. If we're dealing with like George Romero zombies where they're shuffling and like they're not really that strong, kind of weak, I may just push you out into the street or whatever. So be like, get out of here, go. You can do something else, but you're not going to be here. If it's like
World War Z
or 28 Days Later zombies, where
the rage zombies,
where you're going to where shit's going to hit the fan fast and you're going to be strong and crazy, I'm going to have to act quick. I may kill you there and there. And that's that's just what you got to do.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one, Landon. Absolutely. That being said, I think I'm uniquely skilled in a way that would make me very effective in a zombie apocalypse. I know enough about construction and building, and also martial arts and fighting and weapons, and I'm not a small guy. I think I do all right. My concern is the kids, like small children. I have my youngest is 11 now. She's not very big, but like having to protect a small child while doing all of that seems to be a problem. So that's the big hurdle, is like, I know me by myself, I would be okay. It's keeping my family safe that will be the hurdle.
I mean, yeah, it's always whenever you gotta deal with other people. The most competent people in a zombie survival movie or television show always gets killed trying to take care of others.
Yeah, sacrificing themselves for somebody else. Yeah, absolutely. Billy said, yes, zombies love karate, fighting, and manual labor. Yes, thank you, Billy. I just meant I could build a secure uh, uh, shelter and defend myself against zombies effectively. And I think a lot of people today, not necessarily everyone, but I think a lot of people today have not honed the necessary skills that in that situation they would be okay. You know what I mean? I know people who couldn't hammer a nail in if they had to, like it's a scary world we live in, with the number of people who have embraced modern civilization and society to the point where they can no longer rely on themselves. They rely on society to make life doable for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, what else we got in chat?
Got buried just a little bit, I think. Yep. Jennifer J's number 4. Someone going through hell and back to save the person they care about. Man on Fire.
Yes, Man on Fire is a great example. That's Denzel Washington. That's an awesome movie too.
Yeah,
it's a really awesome movie. But yeah, somebody going through hell to go back and save somebody. I think Joel in the end of The Last of Us.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
Yeah, for sure. Orpheus.
Literal hell.
Yeah. Depending on the version, sometimes Orpheus is a total chode, and sometimes he's a really cool guy. Yeah. God, what are some other ones? Wolverine and Logan.
Yeah.
The Hugh Jackman Wolverine in the end of Logan, for sure. Sacrifices his life to save X-23. Yeah. That's a great trope. Yeah. What else we got?
That is all the number 4s in chat.
All right. If you still have number 4s, throw them up whenever you get a chance. We are going to move along. My number 4.
God, last man number 4.
Becca, thank you.
Rebecca's number 4. The character who makes revenge their entire personality, then gets to follow through on it instead of deciding to be the bigger person. Inigo Montoya, a la The Princess Bride.
Yes, Count of Monte Cristo is a great one for that too.
Mm-hmm.
The whole revenge arc with that. God, there's some more.
Dipper Pines put it best whenever he got back at Pacifica. Man, all the stories are wrong. Revenge is awesome.
Yes. Some notable villains who are this character. The bad guy from Old Boy went to extreme lengths to get his revenge.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen that, I've never seen the American one with Josh Brolin, but the
don't watch the Spike Lee version. It's terrible.
The original is incredible. I fucking love Old Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for sure. Deontay's in the chat. Deontay Lifter from Saturday Night Nerds. Glad you are here, Deontay. Good to see you.
Yep. Deontay's number 4. Guy gets murdered and resurrects to get revenge.
Yes, he said, reference Al Simmons and Eric Draven. Of course, The Crow, being this version of The Crow, being my favorite movie of all time. Absolutely. Love that trope. The character resurrected to get revenge. Absolutely love that. There's some other notable instances of that that I cannot think of right off the... Jason Todd, for sure. There's my Red Hood helmet right back here is a good example of that. Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, also resurrected. Let's see. Billy Rhodes said Khan from Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan is a revenge or death example. Yeah. Billy Rhodes said, I didn't know you liked The Crow. This motherfucker made me go see the new one in theaters and sat next to me and watched as I struggled through that whole movie. Billy Rhodes definitely knows how I feel about The Crow. He's full of shit. Let's see. Is that all of our number 4s, Landon?
Yeah, that's all the number 4s in chat.
My number 4 is Dangerous Women. I love a femme fatale for sure. Bayonetta being a great example for sure. She's not scared to be sexy and dangerous at the same time, and she knows she's good at it. Some other ones would be let's see, Red Sonja for sure. I love Red Sonja.
Lust, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, Lust from Full Metal Alchemist is an awesome one. Freerun from Freerun Beyond Journey's End is incredible. Deontay says my number 5 was definitely Femme Fatale. Thank you. That's my other son. I'm glad he's living up to my standards for sure. Deontay said Jade from Spawn. Yeah, or what's her name? She got bought by Marvel. She's Thor's sister now, but she was
Hela.
Not Hela.
Oh.
What is her name? Drawing a blank on it. She was originally an Image character. Billy said, I didn't make you. What had happened was I asked a friend to get pizza and watch a movie, and you said yes. No, you did not. You said, I want to go see that new Crow movie, and I want to see it with you so I can see your reaction when we watch it. You were not just like, hey, let's get pizza and go to a movie. And then you were like, oh, maybe we should go see The Crow. No, that is not how that went down. Deontay was there. Deontay knows. Angela. Thank you, Deontay. Yes, Angela. Originally a character from Spawn, who was a demon hunter. And then she got bought she was an original character who got taken from Image, and then Marvel bought the rights to her, and she was brought into the Marvel canon and made into Thor's other sister in the comics. So one of Spawn's villains is now an Asgardian god in the Marvel comics.
Neat.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
That's a direction I don't think I've seen a bot character take like that. Normally they're just integrated as their own entity in the universe, not that integrated though.
Right. Yeah. I haven't seen them really do a lot with Angela since that original introduction. They were kind of like, we got her. And then they really haven't done much with her since. She didn't blow up and was like this super cool Marvel character that you see everywhere, like Spider-Gwen or Gwenpool, you know? There was a rumor there for a little bit, and this might have been like 5 or 6 years ago, that DC was going to lose the rights to Superman and that Marvel may buy Superman, which I thought would have been really cool. But that never happened. It can be two things, Billy. You could wanted to have hung out with your friends, which was the case, and also wanted to make me sit through the worst movie I've ever seen, and also somehow the second best Crow movie ever made, which is such a weird thing to say. But anyway, that being said, Landon, what do you have for number 3?
My number 3 is when the villain goes out strong. Now, I don't just mean, it's an epic fight and they go out powerful and everything. I mean, they like stick to their guns whenever they go out. This here is Frank Horrigan from Fallout 2. He goes out fighting, but he goes out saying duty, honor, service, semper fi. He believed in what he was doing till the very end, even though he lost and everything had gone to pot. And you know what? I love it when a villain does that. I've seen a few too many villains go out and the writers decide to make them go out screaming, crying, begging to be saved, or just what have you. And it's just nice to see a villain stick to their guns at the very end.
I forget his name, but the bad guy from the first Avatar movie comes to mind for that. He went down swinging, fully believing in his might makes right superiority shit.
Yeah.
I think that's a good trope for sure. God, who else? What's the I can't think of it. Anyway, moving along. What do we have in chat?
Jennifer J's number 3 is the sci-fi queen Ellen Ripley. Total hero. She's a badass. She's afraid, but she never gives up.
Yeah, so sci-fi queens for sure, and Ellen Ripley being the prime example of just a badass female who, like, above all odds, takes on an entire, well, just one in the first movie, and then multiple in the second film. A killing machine, created to and built evolutionarily to just slaughter anything that gets in its way and assimilate, like the xenomorphs. And yeah, she's initially Ellen is just a normal human being.
Mm-hmm.
And is insane what they did in that movie and how they pulled it off and how cool she is. And she totally avoids that trope of being the God, what is the word I'm looking for? Like
damsel? Damsel?
Yes, the damsel in distress. Thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to think of.
And like for the first half of the first Alien movie, she's not even portrayed as the main character.
Yes.
They do a hard switch, but it fits so well. And she stays strong.
Eric Johnson said Ripley will go back and face horror and death to do what's right. Yeah. Yeah, she falls into a previously mentioned trope. And no, Final Girl was not what I was thinking of, Jennifer. But yes, that is another great trope, the Final Girl, for sure. Anybody else throw their number 3s in?
We haven't had any other number 3s be thrown in yet. Although knowing our luck, as soon as you get started with your number 3, someone will throw in theirs.
Up, yeah.
Oh, wow. What do you know? Deontay's number 3. The villains that operate in the gray area makes it extremely hard to fault them for the things they do.
Game of Thrones had a ton of examples of this, just not necessarily fully evil characters, but people that were definitely just out to help themselves, and sometimes inadvertently helped everyone, and sometimes fucked a bunch of people over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Ozymandias from Watchmen definitely operated in a gray area, and he might have leaned a little more to the darker area.
I would say that's a very dark gray area for Ozymandias.
But I mean, he did save Earth from war itself and avoid, a much bigger conflict by killing off some of Earth's population and unifying them behind an enemy.
Yeah, if you look at it as just a numbers game, he did good. Although
that is exactly the plan that the government used in 9/11.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the plan Bush came up with.
No, I mean, no sitting president has been in charge of our country in many, many years.
Yeah.
But anyway. I believe Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was one as well. Absolutely. Yeah, Scar. Initially he's after the heroes and you're like, hey, what's this guy's problem? And then it turns out he's just working a whole different angle, and he's the good guy in his own story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might be Billy Rhodes' number 3. He didn't label it, but one by one, the characters keep getting taken out by an unseen evil. I don't know if that's his number 3 or if he's quoting something about Alien, because that also fits.
It does fit with Alien, but also, yeah, the trope where that happens has certainly come about on its own a few times. What was the movie? It's another like cabin in the woods style movie where the lake they swam in had a flesh eating virus, and they all start like going crazy and their skin starts falling off. You know what movie I'm talking about?
I have no idea, but that sounds cool.
I forget the name of it. But yeah, they all just start like kind of falling apart and dying, and you don't really know who the villain is, and you kind of it's supposed to be a horror movie, so you're like, what's causing this? And then it turns
Cabin
out
Fever.
Cabin Fever. Yes, thank you, Deontay. Cabin Fever is the movie I'm thinking of. Um, Evil Dead certainly has an off-screen villain that's wiping out people one at a time and possessing them. What was that? Oh, It Follows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy, I'm looking back at the chat. You don't have a number 3 on my view. Here, let me check the actual like YouTube chat on my app.
I wonder if he put a website in it, like Spaceboy did that one time.
Maybe. No, it's not showing up on my YouTube chat on my phone either.
Okay. I don't know. Billy maybe post it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, when you put a website in the chat, I think it just blocks it automatically because it's assuming you're a bot. So, you know, just make sure you're putting spaces and stuff in so it doesn't populate as a normal website if you comment a website.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little messy sometimes.
Yeah. What did Rebecca have?
Yeah. Rebecca's number 3, the asshole with a heart of gold.
That also is like Jack from Big Trouble in Little China. He's an asshole with a heart of gold for sure.
Yeah, it reminds me of the quote from Into the Woods. There's a difference in between being nice and being good.
Yeah, Deadpool for sure. Asshole with a heart of gold. I'd say that's the case. Although he does not necessarily have problems sacrificing technically good people for a bit, or just because they annoy him, or because he wants their 2 Desert Eagle gold-plated pistoleros. Billy throw his 3 in there. Yep.
Yeah, Billy threw his 3 in there. Billy Rhodes, number 3. More of a storytelling trope than a character, but 10 little Indians, as seen in a lot of Agatha Christie novels and most Predator movies. And then that is with one by one, the characters keep getting taken out by an unseen evil.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was like, what the hell is 10 little Indians? But yes, okay. So just where a character, the what he just described. But yeah, and that still falls into the stuff that we mentioned previously. But yeah, Predator is a good example too.
Yeah,
for sure. Landon.
I think we might have Eric Johnson's. I think this might be his number 3. The underestimated nerdy character like the Fool in Cabin in the Woods. Or Otacon from Metal Gear.
Yes, yeah, the unlikely hero, or Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or have you ever seen Kung Fu Hustle?
No.
The main character in Kung Fu Hustle, he's kind of slacker, he's lazy, and then he becomes the greatest martial artist of all time by the end of he's the chosen one. By the end of the movie. I love Kung Fu Hustle. That's a great movie. I'm sure there's more. Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass. He buffs up and learns how to fight.
Yes. Okay, my number, Eric said exactly, Hiccup. My number 3 is the Jaded Loner. That's one of my favorite character tropes, and John Wick is a great example of that. He, just wants to be left alone in his misery, and for some reason, people just keep dragging him back into the life. So he does end up exacting the revenge upon the Russian mafia that killed his dog, and then in the sequel, the guy that blew up his house, and then in the third one, the people that decided to take away his hotel. And then is it 4 now? Yeah. There's 4. There's 4 John Wicks, and then by the 4th one, it's everybody. And then apparently there's going to be a 5th one, so we'll see how that turns out. Billy Rhodes said 10 Little Indians is a nursery rhyme in the Agatha Christie book, and then there were none. 10 Native American children keep jumping on the bed and hit their head one by one and keep dying. Okay, cool. Good to know where that's from. But yeah, jaded loners for sure. Characters that just want to be left alone, but for some reason that they just keep getting pulled back into the story.
I often fit this trope myself.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have friends that keep me from doing that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Wolverine falls into this category sometimes, but he's also in another category I have later, so I won't dwell on that too much. Yes. Let's see. Rambo. Yeah, Rambo was one. He just wanted to be left alone, and this small town cop decided to fuck with him, so he blew up their whole town.
Yeah. A decent portion of like post westerns fit this as well. Like John Marston from, he's not a jaded loner, but they do drag him back into the plot.
So yeah, Landon, can you drop a big, hot, steamy number 2 for me?
Well, since you've asked so nicely. When the weak character, heavy air quotes on weak, can still beat you up. This is Yamcha. This is Hercule Satan. These are the characters that are like laughed at for being weak compared to like the rest of the main cast. But Yamcha could still kick my ass. Like easily. Yeah. He could do it easily. And like there's a lot of characters out there that are not weak, just weak compared to the main cast out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like every hero in One Punch Man.
Every hero in One Punch Man.
Compared to Saitama, they're weak. Compared to the average human being, they're incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Yamcha's a great example. He was a world martial arts champion before everybody became flying aliens. He was one of the most badass characters in Dragon Ball. And then by the time you get to Z, it's like, Yamcha can fight.
Yamcha can be there.
Yeah.
He can be known for dying in what was originally a super heartbreaking scene.
Yeah. Now it's a joke.
Yeah.
What do we got in chat?
Jennifer J's number 2. The Wise Elder. Uncle Iroh. Mr. Miyagi.
Absolutely. I love a wise elder. The Deku tree from Legend of Zelda. It's a wise elder. Let's see, the wizard from the Captain Marvel comics. God, who else? Sean Connery in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Sean Connery in Highlander. Sean Connery in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was kind of typecast there at the end.
He was kind of typecast, but he didn't want to do much, so there was only so much they can do with him.
Master Yoda.
Yes.
Both in puppet form and CGI.
Billy Rhodes, number 2 is The Final Girl, as mentioned before, but also shown in Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Child's Play, maybe Hellraiser, but nobody really remembers those movies.
I love Hellraiser. Yeah, the Hellraiser movies are kind of nuts. Like the plot for the Hellraiser movies are nuts.
Yeah.
It was just like, here's some body mutilation, bondage, horror, and kind of a plot.
You touched the box.
Yeah,
you're already screwed.
Somebody's fucking somebody. There's gonna be some nudity, and then there's gonna be some demons doing some awful things to people.
There's gonna be sadism. Lots of sadism. Even if you're into that, it could be a bit much.
Yeah.
I skipped Scream. I'm sorry.
What is
as shown in Scream?
Yeah.
Deontay's number 2. The hard-to-kill old man who winds up training the protagonist. Roshi. Stick. Cagliostro.
Yeah. Master Splinter. Yeah, that's a good one. Bill and Kill Bill. God. And then also the Hattori Hanzo. And I forget who all the other, like, there's a lot of cool older guys in the Kill Bill movies. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great trope.
Arguably, Uncle Iroh also falls into this trope.
Iroh's on that list. Oh,
No,
Uncle Iroh's not on that list. I apologize. I just threw him in there. Mentally, I was like, oh, Uncle Iroh's in there.
it was part of Jennifer's list.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. You're right. You're right. Anyway, so that is all our number 2s in chat. If you have, if you're still adding to your list, go for it. My number 2 is the Reluctant Hero. That's right. It's Red Foreman. From that 70s show is a great example. If you guys don't remember the line, whenever he ends up taking Hyde and moving him into his house after his father abandons him, he turns around and says, "I'm not fucking Santa Claus." But he is. Yeah, Red Foreman, not the most loving father, but definitely one of the most caring.
Yeah.
But some other reluctant heroes that I can think of. I'm trying to blank, but they definitely exist.
We've been at this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true. Are we burning out?
I know I didn't come into here with a full deck of cards, so
yeah. Rebecca added one into the chat.
Rebecca's number 2, the introvert determined to be alone, but ends up with a found family along the way.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And again, I'm drawing a blank on good examples. Up. The old guy in Up. Absolutely.
The protagonist in Persona 3.
Okay, don't know that one.
Fair enough.
I've never played any of the Persona games.
I've played a bit of 5, but I've watched a friend play most of 3.
Okay. I feel like I could just deep dive and watch some videos on it. I didn't care for I tried Persona 5. I didn't care for the turn-based style fighting.
I like turn-based style fighting, so it's right up my alley.
Yeah. So the found family, the introvert with a found family trope.
In Stars in Time, Seafrin, you don't know that, but it's a really great example of that.
Not to get too deep into it because she's starting the books, but the Stormlight Archive, the main character Kaladin has a bit of that happen for him, for sure.
You spread it to another person.
Oh yeah, yes. Rebecca in the chat, she is starting the Stormlight Archive soonishly, and I'm so excited to share that with her. So excited. The new book, Wind and Truth, the 5th in the series, drops in 3 days, and my pre-order should be arriving at my house on the 6th, and I will promptly, I'm already 34 chapters and 4 interludes into the book, so I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, I could talk about that all day. But yes, found family trope is great.
So, folks, that means there may or may not be a show next week. Danny may be have his entire face in that book coming up with ink stains on it. So
it may just be a live stream of me reading it for an hour and a half just so we can chat and Landon can talk to you guys while I read, and I'll just stop whenever he starts talking to me because I'm gonna be so deep in this book. That's not true. We'll have a show next week. But anyway, that is all of chat. My number 2 is the Reluctant Hero. Let's see. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero is a good example. Just someone who's just over it and doesn't want to have to help people. All of the Ghostbusters in the newest Ghostbuster film was a great example.
Again, John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, Kratos from God of War. That's definitely a reluctant hero.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to be alone in his cabin in the woods with his son and grieve his dead wife. Not unlike John Wick. And then he just gets pulled back into the life, back to God killing, the thing he's the best at. Yeah. Oh, if you've ever seen Driver with Ryan Gosling, that's a good example. Yeah. Riddick. There's another one. Riddick just wanted to be left alone. Riddick doesn't care about anyone. I do really like, especially the first couple Chronicles of Riddick movie, Cloud Strife or Loud Strife, as Eric said. Billy says he has a lot of opinions on the most recent Ghostbusters film. We can maybe crack into that another day. We are over an hour and a half here, so let's stick with our current topic. Landon, Are you ready? Let me wet the whistle. Landon, are you ready to give me your number? Landon, your number one, please.
Okay. As always, that is wonderful to hear, Danny. My number one is the honorable villain. This is the person that finds themselves on the wrong side of the law, or maybe on the opposing side of the protagonist, not because they're evil or because of they want to cause any sort of real harm, but they just happen to be in a situation where they do things against whatever the situation is. Like, for example, here, Gentleman Hero, or not Gentleman Hero, Gentleman Villain.
Mm-hmm.
He's mostly just trying to like alter or change society here and there. Like, the main reason Midoriya goes up against him is because he's trying to stop the school festival because he thinks it's ridiculous to have a big open thing when the school is being targeted by villains. And he's like, I'm just going to go in, cause a bit of damage, but not hurt anybody, just to scare them into not making themselves so open and vulnerable, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah.
Or maybe the villain's like falling on hard times and is very much like just trying to like get money or whatever, but they don't want to hurt anybody. That's like one of my more favorite tropes of like a decent portion of Flash villains fall into this.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, I want to rob the bank, but I don't want to blow up the city or hurt any or seriously kill anybody or anything like that.
I'm thinking about Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, depending on the version, is a good example. He's honorable and he has his own motivations, but he doesn't break his own rules and he honors his agreements.
Yeah, like he is willing to kill, but he has like a code of ethics. Even though that code may be twisted in some way, he still has it and he still follows it.
Count Dooku, I think, is another good example.
Count Dooku, yeah.
Yeah. And then I can't remember the character's name, but the Ray Stevenson Sith from Ahsoka, that character was also kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the same vein for sure.
Yeah. Any villain that doesn't like fighting the protagonist with an unfair advantage of some kind.
Virgil from Devil May Cry.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number one. And Jennifer, great minds think alike.
Yeah, Jennifer Johnson says, "Oh my God, that was mine too, Landon." Jennifer, feel free to go ahead and throw your examples up in the chat. We appreciate it.
Yeah, General Hummel from The Rock. Yeah, Eric.
Yep.
Yeah. Rebecca's number one. It's two characters, but when the literal ray of sunshine person is the best friends with the dark cloud person, and they would die for each other or kill anyone who threatened the other. Grumpy Sunshine.
Yeah, not to take it back to the Stormlight archive, but that actually happens in the Stormlight books. You're gonna love it when you get to it. That exists. Batman and Superman, the world's finest. That's a great example.
Yeah. Pincushion couples is what I've heard this referred to as.
Yeah.
One person's the pin, the other person's the cushion.
I think of Andy and April Ludgate from Parks and Rec. I've heard that referred to as one of them is a cat and one of them is a dog type of relationship. But yes, they're the person that's sunshiny and rainbows and the other one isn't. Wicked, which I just watched, the Elphaba and Glinda relationship falls into this. Spider-Man and Wolverine, anytime they interact, or Deadpool and Wolverine is another good example. Both of those, yeah, for sure. Raven and Beast Boy from Teen Titans. There's a lot of that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's a great dynamic.
Yeah. Wednesday, they had in the series with Jenna Ortega, they had that. Yes, Wednesday and Enid. Yes, Deontay, you're absolutely right. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deontay's number 1 is The Final Girls. Lauren Lavera now joining the ranks with the last 2 Terrifier movies. Jamie Lee Curtis stands among the legends.
I really do need to see Terrifier 3. I keep intending to get around to watching it, but there's just so much stuff going on since Cape Con ended, and I've just been so busy. And here we are a month later, and I still haven't gotten around to watching it.
I tried to make a point to watch it beforehand because it's out on streaming and everything, but I've been busy myself, as you know.
Yeah. Andy and April is the first duo I thought of. Also, Wednesday and Enid. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. As soon as you mentioned it, I was thinking Andy and April. Absolutely. I love Parks and Rec. So. Yeah.
Billy Rhodes, number 1. Functional alcoholic. They still get everything that is required of them to get done. They just like the sauce too. Examples include The Simpsons, The Drunken Master, WKRP, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's Drunken Master was the first thing I thought of in this, for sure.
It's not alcohol, but I thought of House from House MD, if you've ever seen that.
Yes. Yeah, House with his Vicodin addiction.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. God, who are some other drunken heroes? What's the Mr. God, what's his name from Trailer Park Boys?
I haven't seen Trailer Park Boys.
I can't remember his name. The guy that runs the trailer park. He's a drunken shitheel.
Rochambeau from Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great one too. Archer and James Bond would be examples. Yeah. God, I feel like there's another one. Doesn't matter. Carry on. Yeah, Mr. Leahy from Trailer Park Boys. That is all of our number 1s in chat. Okay, if you guys still have number 1s you want to throw up, go ahead. We will address them, but I'm going to move to my number 1. And my number 1 favorite character trope of all time has and always will be the anti-hero. Prime example, my favorite superhero of all time, Wolverine, an anti-hero. He's a good guy, but he will murder you. The Punisher falls into this. Deadpool falls into this. Jason Todd, the Red Hood, falls into this. A lot of my favorite characters are anti-heroes. The Hulk, Raphael out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's the anti-hero of the group. Casey Jones, for sure. I love a good anti-hero. As a matter of fact, when I was initially coming up with the name for this show, it was actually Cutting Edge Anti-Hero, and that ended up being too long, and I took the anti out. But that was initially going to be the name of our show. Marble said, yes, I think that's the kind of where my mind was at when I said extravagant, sexually ambiguous villains. Yeah. Sexually ambiguous villains is a good one. People that, they're easy to love, but for some reason driven to make you hate them.
Was that a number 1 that we missed?
Which one?
Marbles referring to sexually ambiguous villains?
No, I think Marbles listed that much earlier.
Oh.
We were talking about something, and she said she loves sexually ambiguous villains.
Oh, sorry about that. Just worried about, since we missed Billy's, I'm just a little worried if we're missing something here and there.
Billy Rhodes says Raphael just wants to be an anti-hero. He's too much of a softie deep down. I mean, it depends on the version for sure. The movie Turtles never really hurt anyone. The cartoon ones cut up the android foot soldier enemies constantly. And that's one of the things that drives me nuts about all of the live action Ninja Turtles. If they just go back to the Foot Clan being robots, they could actually cut people up with their swords and knock them out and tear them apart with their sais and bow staff and nunchucks. But because they're always actually people in the ninja suits, they never kill anybody. Billy said I was talking about horny bisexuals earlier. Maybe that's what you're thinking about. Yeah, one of my favorites, and that is Captain Jack Harkness from Doctor Who, played by John Barrowman, who is hilarious. If you ever get a chance to meet him, he's so funny.
Yeah. Who the Harkness test is named after.
Yes. What's the Harkness test?
It is a test as to whether or not you can engage in coitus with an entity of a different species than your own.
Really?
Yeah, they have to be A, of sexual maturity for their species.
Yeah, that's a necessary for every situation ever.
Yeah, B, be sapient, human level intelligence or greater.
So they have to be able to consent.
Yeah, they have to be able to consent. And C, they have to consent.
Ah, yes. Yeah, those are all big things, even just with human beings.
Yes.
Marvel said that's why Raphael was on my Hear Me Out. Jennifer Johnson said Loki is the best. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't know there was a Harkness test, and now I will think of that every time I see an alien creature from anything.
I'm almost certain I've brought up the Harkness test before.
I feel like this is the first time. I've never heard of it before.
Hmm.
And I feel like I had Jack Harkness on one of my lists. I absolutely did, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I thought I brought it up. Maybe I just brought it up with everyone else and just forgot to include you on the conversation.
Marble said, don't get in trouble with the tribbles, guys. Yeah, I don't think they're sapient and consenting. So we did character tropes. Next week for the hit list, we are going to do... Yeah. Do you think next week is too early to do Christmas movies? I think that would be the appropriate week to do Christmas movies, because I think the following couple weeks people might be a little busy.
Yeah, I think it's the right time to do Christmas movies. We may be too busy to have for a show one of these weeks close to Christmas.
Yeah.
And also maybe people will just be tired of Christmas by the time Christmas finally rolls around.
That's true. Let's do it while it's topical and poignant, not when we're already burnt out by it. Okay, so next week for the hit list, we will be doing our 5 favorite Christmas movies. And I guarantee you we will also have the Is Die Hard a Christmas movie argument during that list. Not saying that's going to be on my list, but we will have that discussion, I promise, probably from Billy. And we'll break down your 5 favorite Christmas movies on the hit list next week. But for this week, this has been the hit list. Welcome back to the show. Landon, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, Billy, can the Neanderthal communicate that they want to have sex with you? Do they have sapience of equal footing to a human being? Are they sexually mature? If all these are yes, and they do consent, then yes, go nuts, Billy.
But also, Homo erectus killed off all of the Neanderthals. They don't exist. So you couldn't do that anyway. They're gone.
Are you certain?
I mean, I'm not 100% on almost anything. Like I even things I'm sure about, I'm not sure about. And if you question me on it, I will question whether I know what the hell I'm talking about, even when I know what the hell I'm talking about. Billy says he doesn't care if Die Hard is a Christmas movie anymore. Well, I look forward to not talking about it with you next week then, Billy, but I feel like you will still have an opinion based on the fact that I've known you a long time. Marble said they exist inside us. That's true. We are genetically close to the Neanderthal.
I mean, Marbles, if they follow all 3 of those listed in the Harkness test, maybe they do. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, they could be inside of us. That's valid. Ninja Turtles, I think, fall into the Harkness test.
Yes, of course. Well, no, not while they're teenage mutant.
Shit, you're
Ninja
right.
Turtles.
Yeah. Yep. Nope.
You have to wait till they're adult.
Right there at the start.
You have to wait till they're adult.
Yeah, till they're middle-aged Ninja Turtles. But yeah, Venus de Milo, the female Ninja Turtle, would be an option for me. Someday. And she'd definitely be in her like 30s now, the 30s, 35 or 36 ish, based on when that series aired and they were still teenagers.
Huh?
The series, the live action Fox Kids Ninja Turtle series, Ninja Turtles, the next evolution, I believe, or something along those lines, when they introduced a fifth turtle who was their sister, Venus de Milo. She had a baby blue bandana across her eyes, as opposed to the royal blue that Leonardo wore.
Yes.
And she was a teenager then, but she'd be an adult now.
I mean, yeah, but all the ones from the 80s would be adults now.
That's valid. That's valid. That's really true.
Mature Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not going to start listing fictional characters I'd have sex with. We did that list a couple of weeks ago.
I think we've done that list multiple times.
Yeah, we've done that. Well, that's true. We've done that list a few times. Consenting adult Ninja Turtles. I love that also spells can't. I was like, oh, what is that instead of TMNT? CANT. Damn it. They're saying no right from the beginning. Billy. Jennifer said their shell is hard and ready. Good times, guys. Well, anyway, that does it for us this week. Thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in, for commenting, for throwing your lists up, for being part of the show. We love and appreciate each one of you. We couldn't do the show without you. Thank you guys so much. Landon, do you have anything you want to say to the nice folks?
I heard from a little birdie that there may be a new episode of a certain podcast that got posted just last week.
Oh,
yeah, almost 3 hours long.
Everybody loves their podcasts long.
I know I do.
Yeah, same.
And this was even shortened from what it was. So,
okay, fantastic. So if you get a chance, check out Date Night at Power Noodle.
Yes, Date Night at Power Noodles, only on YouTube right now.
But currently only on YouTube.
We talk about religion and science fiction and fantasy.
There you go. Guaranteed not to start an argument. Deontay said he loves them long. I believe that. Deontay. Man after my own heart. Anyway, so thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. Billy Rhodes said our power noodle is long and hard, baby. Anyway, love you guys. You have been great. We have been Cutting Edge Hero. We'll catch you next time.
See y'all.